Stay from 9 to 8 every workday. No fun at night, gotta hit the hay. But on Friday, now you've worked all week long. It's time to get out and say what's up, Hong Kong.
Hi, welcome to What's Up Hong Kong, the show where we tell you what's going on in Hong Kong each week and meet some of Hong Kong's most interesting people. It's February 19th, and our guest today is Kay Ross, marketing guru. How are you, Kay?
Hi, Travis. Thanks. Nice to be here.
So let's learn more about our guest. Kay, tell us a bit about your background and some of your personal philosophy.
Wow, big question to start off with. I was born in Scotland, and my family migrated to Adelaide in Australia when I was 3 years old. So I grew up in Adelaide, and I moved to Hong Kong 19 years ago. No job, just a British passport, and I came here for challenge and opportunity and adventure, and that's what I found.
It's a bold move.
Yeah, and 19 years later, I'm still here.
Paid off.
Yeah.
Excellent. And so what do you love about Hong Kong? What made you stay here for all that time?
I love the energy and the buzz of Hong Kong. I love the efficiency of Hong Kong. It's so easy to do business here, and I live right in Soho, and everything I need is within a 10-minute walk. And I love the public transport system in Hong Kong. I love that I get to meet really interesting people from all over the world who come here. I just love the buzz.
Yeah, I think everything that you said there is definitely something that makes the city very dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love it too.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I should let everyone at home know listening. Kay has her own marketing company, but she is kind of very well known in the comedy scene here in Hong Kong as an improviser. She does People's Liberation Improv with a friend of the show, Pete Grella. And so she has kind of she's a lady who wears many hats.
Yeah.
From what I can tell.
Yeah, I wear several hats. Like you said, I'm a marketing consultant, so that's mostly copywriting and editing of English language marketing material and corporate training about marketing. And then on the comedy side, the improv, and I used to do stand-up, but now I prefer to do the improv.
Okay.
And corporate training about improv. And then I do bodywork healing as well, which I guess we'll talk about later.
Yeah, definitely. So you're into comedy. Who are your comedic influences?
So many. I guess the number one would have to be Robin Williams, because he's just so crazy and fearless. I mean, he latches onto an idea and he just runs with it without editing, and he's just totally fearless.
Yeah, he's very unique in his comedy style.
Yeah, and I really like Eddie Izzard as well, because he's so intelligent. He sees interesting connections between things, and he does stand up in French as well, which is pretty amazing.
All right, so there's your US influence and your UK influence. How about an Australian one? Anyone there that you liked growing up?
I'm a bit out of touch with the Australian scene. I haven't been there for a long time.
I have to admit, I don't know too many Australian stand-ups.
But the
by
other
name.
one I guess I wanted to mention was the Improv Everywhere group in the US that does interesting stunts, outdoor stunts and events. Improv Everywhere.
So that's the group that you follow as far as your improv.
Yeah, and funny stunts, like they do the no pants subway ride.
Okay.
Every year, yeah.
Were they in Hong Kong not long ago?
I think some people did that. It wasn't those people from the US, of course. No pants is now something done in lots of cities around the world.
Okay.
The no pants subway ride.
Yeah, I've definitely seen some pictures from the one in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
There's always interesting things going on like that, and like the around Christmas time, the Santa train ride. That's always a very entertaining one. And I think you even participated in a pretty cool event, the pillow fight.
Yes, I've done the pillow fight a couple of times. That's lots of fun. And also free hugs. I've done that several times.
Oh, cool.
The free hugs campaign.
Was that ever awkward?
No, it's great fun.
Always felt good.
Yeah. I mean, some people walk past and think we're a bit crazy, but
Okay. We should, I had Pete Grella on before, and we talked about improv, and I got a little feedback from my wife, actually, that she actually didn't know what improv is or what was, so maybe we should tell everyone listening, kind of spell out what improv means.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm always surprised when I discover that people don't know what it is. People are probably familiar with stand-up comedy, which is one person on stage with a microphone telling usually rehearsed, pre-written script of jokes. Might involve a little bit of audience interaction and improv elements to it, but it's basically one person telling jokes. Improv is like, if anyone's familiar with Whose Line Is It Anyway, it's a troupe of actors on stage. We get suggestions from the audience, could be about a character or a situation or a place or even just a random word. And then immediately, without any script, without any rehearsal, without any preparation, we have to come up with a scene. And hopefully the audience laughs.
Right off the top of your head. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a step above the anxiety that you might have doing a stand-up,
Yeah.
knowing your show going
Yeah.
in. So you never know what you're going to be doing.
That's improv.
All right, great. Well, hopefully everyone grasps that at home. So you specialize in using improv in life and business. Can you tell us some more about your work in teaching the skill of improv to professionals?
Yeah, well, over the years that I've been doing improv, I've come to learn about a concept that's called applied improv, which means applying the principles of improv, the techniques of improv in life and business, not just performing on stage. So a lot of improv troupes and actors and companies around the world use improv skills and techniques in corporate training workshops. And it's very popular in the States, in Australia, in the UK, in Europe, not really well known at all in Hong Kong. Last July, I went to a conference in Melbourne about applied improv, and there were some improv actors there, but it wasn't a workshop or a conference for actors. It was for corporate executives, HR managers,
Okay.
community development workers, social workers, any people like that who wanted to learn about how to use the skills and processes and techniques of improv in group work, group facilitation, corporate training, that kind of thing.
Okay, excellent. Now, how is it relevant for people who are working in Hong Kong that might be listening to the show here to use improv or improvisation in order to get ahead in their career?
Well, I think it's relevant to anyone around the world, not just in Hong Kong, but Hong Kong does have a particularly frantic pace of business. What we find is that using the skills and the mindset of improv is really fantastic for teamwork, for leadership, for building trust in a team, improving your communication skills, coming up with innovative ideas, creativity. It's good for building trust. It's in so many ways the kind of skills that we need in business are the skills that we use in improv, so they apply really well.
That's true. It's very much a team exercise,
Mhm.
and you never negate the premise. That's an important
That's
part
right,
I'm aware
absolutely, yeah.
of.
Yeah,
You know,
number
in-
one principle.
In
yeah.
business, there's always a lot of conflict whenever people don't agree about ideas, but
Mhm.
I think maybe you'd find that everything works a little bit better and you get better results whenever you don't negate the premise and
Yeah.
kind of go with the flow
Yeah.
and take what somebody else's idea and work with them
Mhm.
to have something that's
Yeah.
agreeable to both of you.
I mean, in business, I think it's very common if you're in a meeting and someone suggests an idea and someone else will say, yes, but that won't work because we tried it before or we haven't got the budget or whatever. But the basic, absolute number one principle of improv is what we call yes and,
Right.
which means you accept the premise, as you said, you accept what the person has said and you build on it. That's the absolute basic principle of improv is yes and.
Okay, so everyone remember yes and whenever somebody mentions something at work you might not like, try yes anding them.
Yeah, yeah, it works.
All right, and so what exactly is it that you do in your workshops when you're working with people who aren't familiar with improvisation?
Well, first and foremost, it's not a lecture.
Okay.
It's a jump in the deep end, hands-on, have fun, actually playing some improv games. And yes, sure, there's a little bit of talking about explaining the principles of improv and the rules of the game, because improv's not totally random and chaotic. There are actually rules and structures to it. Within those rules, you have freedom to create whatever you want, but there is an actual structure to it, so it's safe and nobody dies.
And you like, how does it work? You get to circle the chairs and everyone kind of watches people stand in the middle, or it goes anyway?
Yeah, or chairs around the edge of the room and people moving around in the room.
Right.
Some people will be playing a game and some will watch, but I try and get everybody participating. It's not an observation thing. It is very much you have to jump in and participate.
Right, it's not like a classroom where you're standing up in the front and calling people up to the front.
No.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So what kind of person really grasps and performs improv well? Is being funny a prerequisite?
No, absolutely not. In fact, it doesn't work if you're trying too hard to be the funny or the funny person or the joker in the room. The funny comes from the situation or the relationship. it's not about hogging centre stage and trying to be the star of the show. That's absolutely not what improv's all about. It is very much about teamwork and making the other person look good rather than you trying to be the star of the show.
I've heard that is actually one of the tougher skills, is to be the person in the back who's facilitating, being the straight man more than the crazy person who's grabbing all the attention and getting the laughs.
Yeah, and one of the principles of improv is about the teamwork and making your teammates look good, because then you can trust that they're going to make you look good, and you work together, you play together, rather than one person trying to be the star of the show.
Excellent. And then is there a common trait among the best improv comedians and the best business people, do you think?
Yeah, I would say the key is they listen.
Okay.
They listen to other people. They actually pay attention to what the other person is saying, and they allow themselves to be affected and changed by that. So they say the yes to the offer, and they build on it. So yes, and so while the other person is speaking, the actor, like if it's me, I'm not frantically thinking, well, what am I going to say next? What am I going to say next? Is I actually have to pay attention and listen, because they might be taking the scene or the discussion or the negotiation in a direction that I wasn't expecting. And in improv, you have to accept that you can't control that. The situation is going to move in directions that you weren't expecting and can't control.
Sure.
And being open to that and being willing to go with the flow is really useful in life and business.
Yeah, well, anyone who's been in a business meeting trying to sell to somebody knows that frequently happens.
Yeah.
You get thrown a curveball that you're not ready for.
And, and you can't plan and prepare for it. You can't write the script in advance, because life doesn't come with a script.
Right, exactly. So improvisation, thus the importance of it. And we talked about yes and being, a very important tenet of improv. What are some of the other principles of improv?
Well, like, as I said, it's about the trust, the teamwork, making your teammates look good rather than you trying to be the star of the show. It's about creativity and not editing that voice in your head that says, this is not going to work, they're not going to like it, it's not going to be funny. Improv goes so fast, you just have to go with the first impulse that comes into your mind or your body, and you just have to have that confidence. One of the principles, I guess, of improv is that confidence of making bold choices and running with them.
Sure.
You haven't got time to think about it and analyze it beforehand.
Now, I've heard in Hong Kong, it kind of brings up an interesting aspect. I guess maybe the educational system here doesn't lend itself to creativity. A lot of the local people work better in a group. They don't want to stand out. Creativity might not be the strong suit of the nation here. Mm-hmm. Have you run into any kind of issues with that when training, the difference between training local people and expats?
It can be difficult.
Okay.
Some people might not be willing to look silly.
Sure. And we don't want to stereotype here. Obviously, it all comes down to the individual.
But I helped out at a workshop a few months ago, a corporate training workshop with a group of German engineers in Hong Kong, very, very left-brain engineer types.
Okay.
And they were fantastic. They loved it. They jumped right in.
Wow.
And they enjoyed it, and I think they learnt lots. So if they're willing to jump in and be willing to look silly and make mistakes, that's okay, because that's one of the beauties of improv is it's okay to make mistakes, because things change so quickly. You try something else, you fail, you try again, you do something different, and nobody dies. And that's a good mindset to take into business, that be willing to experiment and try something different.
Yeah, hopefully everybody at their job has a little bit of a comfort level where they can maybe fail a little bit, maybe lose a client, but learn from the mistake and come back strong.
And I guess one of the good things about improv as well is about being comfortable with uncertainty and thriving in uncertainty, because that's a really good skill to have in life.
Yeah, and a lot of people do not have that.
Yeah.
So what benefits does the average professional gain from your improv workshops, both in their professional life and in their personal life?
Wow.
It's a big one.
So many benefits. I actually wrote a blog post recently about 34 reasons to learn improv, the benefits that people get. Things like, they accept what's happening in the here and now, and they build on it, which is the yes and principle. With improv, you kind of develop a mindset where you can spot unexpected connections between things, which is really good for creativity and innovation in business. You learn to tell compelling stories, which is really useful in sales and marketing.
Definitely.
You have fun.
Attention.
You certainly have fun, and you take yourself and life and business less seriously. You learn to think on your feet really quickly, and change course quickly if the circumstances demand it. You experiment and take risks. You learn to spot opportunities and needs, and gives you greater emotional intelligence because you have to be able to read other people and situations. You get to try on different characters and behaviors and see things from a different perspective,
get
which
outside
is a really
of yourself a
useful
little
skill.
bit.
You get to understand and play with the dynamics of status in a group, which is really useful in a business negotiation.
Yes, definitely.
Or a staff meeting, for example. You learn how to make your colleagues look good.
Okay.
Yeah. Making bold choices and decisions, listening and observing, leading and following. You have to do both in improv. Yeah, I've got a list of 34 of them. I wrote a blog post about it.
Okay. Well, that would definitely go check out that blog post for anyone listening that's interested to find out, what the benefits. I mean, we just hit the tip of the iceberg there. Where can we find your blog at, by the way?
www.kayros.com. That's KAYROS.com. My
Easy
blog.
enough.
Yep.
All right, and just click on the blog link and you'll find it along with a bunch of other interesting blog posts and interesting information. I've heard that lots of improv troupes around the world offer corporate training sessions about improv skills, and even MBA courses teach improv. Is that common here in Hong Kong, and do you think it should be if not?
It's not common at all. I don't know very many people who are doing it at all, and I think it should be more because I'm absolutely convinced that companies and people here would benefit a lot from it. I know there are a couple of people who do corporate training using actors, but specifically applied improv. I know there's one woman, fantastic woman named Teresa Norton, who does corporate training using improv, and she's written articles about improv for the Harvard Business Review. But apart from that, no, I really don't. I mean, I know, for instance, the MBA course at HKU, they have one part of their course about creativity, but whether they use improv in that, I don't think so. But in other countries, it's very, very common, particularly in America. MBA courses at some of the top universities include a course in improv.
Okay. Well, yeah. I think that goes back to kind of what we were talking about as far as the culture here in Hong Kong and creativity. And so, yeah, it's definitely good work you're doing. I think people could use it. And there are a lot of marketers in Hong Kong. You can't swing a cat around the internet without seeing something about marketing. What are most of them, in your opinion, doing wrong?
Oh, so many things. Bad marketing really pisses me off. It breaks my heart. And I've written blog posts and got videos about that as well, about bad marketing. But I guess things like using too much business jargon and abstract language that doesn't really grab people's emotions. They broadcast too many one-way pushy sales messages that people really don't like these days. And they don't engage in conversation. It's too much of a one-way communication, and they don't talk to people like real human beings.
Right. I'll spout off everything that I think you need to hear. Are you ready to buy now?
Yeah, yeah. It really annoys me. As a customer, when I'm a customer myself, that really annoys me.
Right. If people aren't genuine, it very much turns you off. You're just leave.
And,
give them a chance.
spammy emails and cold calling. I hang up on cold callers. I just hang up.
Yeah. That's one of the worst parts of being in a job is having to do cold calls. And then one of the worst parts of being a consumer is getting the cold calls. I think we could just need to cut those out.
Yeah, please.
All right. Now, you certainly spend a lot of time with Twitter, from what I can tell. You're constantly tweeting.
I love Twitter.
And thank you for some of the retweets you've been helping me out with recently. Can you give us any tips on how we can have a successful Twitter account? I know I could use some.
Okay, well, don't treat Twitter like a one-way broadcasting channel, which unfortunately a lot of companies on Twitter do.
Sure.
Twitter is about conversation and engagement. And the basic etiquette of Twitter is be helpful. Share lots of helpful information, your own and other people's. Retweet other people. Answer questions. Ask questions. Be helpful, I guess, is the basic rule of Twitter. Not all the time just posting pushy sales messages about your product or service, because people really don't like that on Twitter. And show some personality, even if it's a corporate account. People want to communicate with a real human being, not a faceless corporation.
Right.
So engage in conversation and respond quickly. People expect really quick responses. If someone complains on Twitter, they expect a response pretty quickly.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It is it's up to the minute form of communicating with people.
Yeah.
I've seen statistics about social network usage here in Hong Kong, and Twitter is actually very low compared to its usage in other countries.
Yeah.
Something only like 2% of people in Hong Kong use
but
Twitter.
It's growing.
Yeah,
it's
I
growing.
think it should be. I think people don't. If you're listening right now, and you don't have a Twitter account, go try it out, because it's actually a pretty good tool for gathering information about what you're interested in.
And it's also really good for monitoring the conversation, what people are saying, not just about your company, but about your industry.
Right. And I've found information on Twitter quicker than I've found it anywhere else. Whenever something major happens, I think even
news.
Something negative in news.
Yeah.
I'll it'll be on Twitter before it's anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and unless you're a food critic, don't tweet about what you ate for lunch.
Yeah, that's the one problem is you follow some people and they give you the most mundane details. Save that for Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
And so your website also mentions that you engage in a healing practice. I think you mentioned before. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm passionate about. There's number 1 is marketing, number 2 is performing, and number 3 is healing. For many years, I've been studying various kinds of body work, energy work, healing methodology, and personal and spiritual development stuff. And I trained in a hands-on bodywork healing methodology called Body Harmony. And it's not Reiki, it's not massage, but it works with energy. And looking at how the person engages with the world, how the person experiences the world through the body.
Okay.
And how their beliefs and attitudes and history is stored and expressed through the physical tissue. So it's not just about, I've got a sore shoulder from playing tennis and I want a nice relaxing massage. It's really about change and looking at your behavior and how you operate in the world.
Sure. So I think from what I could gather, it's not just one session you show up and you're going to be healed. It's kind of it's an ongoing process.
Yeah, not a quick fix thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but it's about being more aware of what your body is telling you, noticing the signals, the messages that your body is telling you about what's comfortable and what's not comfortable, and about how you engage with the world.
Okay.
And what your body is saying, the stories that you're telling about your body and about your place in the world, and the stories that your body is telling that other people see, maybe you don't see yourself.
Okay. And what kind of people would kind of benefit from this? If I'm having what kind of problem should I come see you?
Wow. Any kind of problem or issue from A to Z. It could be the sore shoulder from playing tennis. It could be I always argue with my mother. It could be I hate my job.
Right.
Could be
any so kind it of is. It's not just a physical thing. It's very much holistic, mind, body,
physical,
and soul.
mental, emotional, spiritual. Okay. Yeah.
Very cool. That's it's a neat practice.
And what I found is, I only realised this about a year ago, is that I've been involved in marketing since I was like 20, and performing since I was a teenager, and the healing work for a long time. And only recently I realised that the connecting thread, the common thread between all three of those things, is storytelling.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time I saw you in Hong Kong was when you told a story at a storytellers event.
Yeah.
Friends of the show, Tom Tiding and David Young, they've both been on before, who host those events. I went to that and saw you tell a story, and I was very impressed by you and by everyone else that was able to get up and tell a story in such a interesting way that really held attention. There was a payoff. It's almost like you're watching a written story, a television show or a movie or something, because there's an exposition, there's a climax, and then the payoff.
Hollywood, here I come.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how your interest in storytelling and what you do here in Hong Kong.
I guess I've been fascinated by storytelling since I was a kid. I mean, I remember my very first day of infant school in Adelaide. I was getting bored with playing with a jigsaw or something that the teacher gave me. And I remember distinctly on my very first day, I went up to the teacher and said, when are we going to learn to read? Because I wanted to read books.
Right
I wanted
away.
to read stories.
Okay.
And
So your parents read to you a lot when you were growing up?
Yeah, and I was as soon as I learnt to read, I was a voracious reader and still am.
Excellent.
And so that, I guess, is what appealed to me about becoming an actor and becoming a marketing consultant and becoming a healer, because it's all about storytelling.
Okay. Follow-up question, what are you reading right now?
I'm reading a fascinating book by Daniel Pink, who's a very famous American author, business author, and his latest book is called To Sell is Human.
Okay.
About selling and how really we're all selling all of the time. We're selling not just products, but we're selling our ideas. We're trying to convince people. We're trying to move people, trying to change people. That, according to him, that's selling.
Yeah.
And he says that improvisation is one of the key skills that we all need these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some more improv there. Would you recommend David Pink?
Daniel Pink.
Daniel Pink.
Yes,
Daniel Pink.
absolutely, yes. His book's called To Sell is Human. I'm reading that right now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're interested in improv, anyone out there, I'm sure lots of improv fans that know you are going to listen to the podcast here.
Mm-hmm.
Go check out that book, please. So let's see, what events do you have coming up that we should let our listeners know about?
Glad you asked. I'm going to be teaching a workshop on February 23rd.
Oh, that's coming up this
Very
Saturday.
soon, very soon. And it's an improv workshop especially aimed at entrepreneurs and business managers and leaders. So it's not an acting workshop, not an improv workshop for actors. It's a workshop for business people, entrepreneurs, about how to use the principles and skills of improv in life and business. And that's going to be, it's hosted by an organization called General Assembly, which is fairly new in Hong Kong. It's a global group. I think they have offices in about 9 cities around the world. And they run really interesting live and online workshops about technology and business and design. And they've only been in Hong Kong for about maybe 2 or 3 months, I think.
Okay.
And so I'm going to be teaching a 2-hour workshop on Saturday afternoon.
Excellent.
For entrepreneurs and business people about improv.
Is this kind of similar to what they would get in one of your workshops that they can hire you for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So this is a good way to get a good introduction to Kay and what she does if you don't necessarily have a whole group of people at your business that you want to call her in right away. Maybe you can get a taste of of her first at at this event this Saturday, and then hire her on from there.
And that's at the Hive in Wan Chai. So it's very
the
convenient.
Hive.
Yeah.
That's a thriving place of business.
Mm-hmm.
Many different heads coming together there. Any other things coming up as far as stand up or
improv. We've got the 3rd annual Hong Kong International Improv Festival.
Yes, definitely want to mention
that. Yeah, it's happening at the Takeout Comedy Club February 28th to March 3rd weekend, and then the following weekend as well, March 7th to 10. And we've got teams coming from all around Asia. Beijing, Shanghai, somewhere else in China, mainland China, Taiwan, Manila, Tokyo.
Wow.
And even, I think, a team coming from Germany.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
So there's going to be shows every night, February 28th to March 3rd, and then 7th to 10th at the Takeout Comedy Club in Soho.
Excellent. I will be in attendance there. I guarantee that.
Yeah, good.
Probably on a couple nights. I still have I've seen a bunch of stand-up shows. I have yet to go to the PLI, but I think this will be a really good chance because you normally you guys perform twice a month?
Once a month.
Once
People's Liberation Improv. We usually perform on the first Friday of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, everyone. First Friday of the month. All right. So any other hobbies? I mean, we talked about plenty of them here.
Well, I guess improv is my biggest hobby. I used to sing fairly regularly with Cassia Women's Choir.
Oh, great.
But I haven't done that lately because I'm so busy with the improv. And I guess reading still. I'm a voracious reader, and traveling.
Okay.
I'm a member of an international group called couchsurfing.org. Have you heard of couchsurfing?
I have.
Yeah. I'm a member of couchsurfing, so I often meet and greet visitors here and show them around, have dinner with them, or have social events with couchsurfing members here in Hong Kong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. So yeah, plenty of hobbies.
Yeah.
I mean, you're living the dream here. You're very involved in all of these
Yeah.
activities that you enjoy so much. So that's
Yeah.
great. So any other groups here in Hong Kong or elsewhere that you're affiliated with you'd like to mention?
Yeah. You talked about Twitter. I'm a member of a meetup group here called HK Social.
Okay.
And we have a live face-to-face breakfast gathering on the first Friday of every month, where you don't have to be active on Twitter. It's anybody who's interested in social media.
Sure.
It's an English language gathering. We have it at a restaurant in Wan Chai.
Your first Friday of every month is very busy.
Very busy, yes. So we have an 8:30 a.m. breakfast and then a PLI show that night. So at the HK social meetups, we have usually a couple of guest speakers talking about something to do with social media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good chance to meet people face to face that maybe you follow on Twitter or LinkedIn or Facebook. So that's the HK Social Meetup group. And then I'm also a member of the Hong Kong Women in Publishing Society,
Okay.
which is for women. You don't have to be a published author, but women who are interested in or work in anything to do with the publishing industry.
Sure.
And we have usually meetings once a month with a guest speaker or some kind of training workshop.
And
Yeah.
you are, you're very involved in editing and things like that,
Yeah.
so that would appeal to you.
Yeah.
Have you ever published anything? I'm not aware.
I haven't written a book yet. People keep telling me I should. Maybe I should write a book about marketing
Yeah, I
and
think
improv.
It's a good idea to kick around,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah,
And now you got this group that can give you some backup
yeah,
if you need any assistance. That's great.
yeah.
All right. Well, the question I ask everyone here, if someone was coming to Hong Kong for the first time and they only had 24 hours in the city, what would you tell them is the number one thing they have to do while they're here?
Number one thing, that's really hard. I guess it's the typical answer, but I guess I'd have to say a ride on the Star Ferry.
Oh, right on the Star Ferry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Star Ferry or the
See,
Peak Tram maybe.
Yeah, I thought the Peak
Yeah.
was where you were going with
Yeah,
that, but the Star
but
Ferry
the
is
Star
nice
Ferry
at
is good.
night, especially.
Yeah, especially at night with the lights and the harbour view.
Definitely. I just had a friend visit, and that's one thing we did. I think it was last night or the night before.
Mm-hmm.
It was. It's beautiful as always. You always forget how nice it is out there, especially with all the Chinese New Year lights up and so forth.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been here for 19 years, and whenever I'm on that Star Ferry at night, I just look in amazement and think, wow, I live in Hong Kong.
It is cool. So if you're listening and you haven't been here, for the love of God, come check it out. It's a great time.
Yeah, we'll show you around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gladly.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for answering all those questions.
Thank you, Travis.
It's been a pleasure having you answer those. But now we're going to move on to something a little trickier, actually. Well, the first game isn't tricky at all. It's very straightforward.
You're asking me to improvise?
Exactly.
We haven't planned this. You haven't told me what you're going to do.
No, I never tell
Uh-huh.
anyone about the games, but if anyone who's listened to the show before would know.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
All right. Game number 1. What's up or down Hong Kong? And this game, I just go through 10 items, and you very quickly just say, it's kind of rapid fire, just say up for, yes, I like it, or down for, no, it doesn't appeal to me so much, okay?
Yep.
So 10 quick items, and then we'll delve in a little bit after that.
Okay.
Okay, board games.
Up.
Deadlines.
Down.
Free market capitalism.
Up.
Heat.
Up.
Philosophy.
Up.
Naps.
Up.
Wan Chai.
Down.
Oysters.
Down.
Pop music.
Yeah, down.
Extreme sports.
Yeah, up.
Okay. Let's go over that extreme sports one real quick. I saw something online where you bungee jumped off Macau Tower.
Yeah. That was actually with some couch surfing members. A few years
really?
ago. That was fantastic fun. I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Very cool. Have you ever skydived or anything like that?
No, that's still on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. And then let's see here. Don't like oysters?
No, I don't
Seafood
like
in general?
Yeah, some seafood, but oysters, icky.
Okay. Heat. You prefer the hot to the cold?
I hate being cold.
It didn't have much snow where you grew up?
Adelaide, no.
No. All right. And let's see here. Deadlines. Are you frequently on deadlines?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm self-employed. I have lots of clients, and they all want everything yesterday.
Right. Okay. And board games, I guess.
Scrabble. I love Scrabble.
Big Scrabble fan. I saw that mentioned in one of your random bios online. So, excellent. Yeah, we went over some got a little insight into Kay there.
Thank you.
And what,
Yeah.
what you like. So now is where we do the events. All right, and we're back for the events this week, and I'm joined again by my buddy Bob, who's nearing the end of his time here in Hong Kong. How are you, Bob?
Oh, doing pretty good.
All right.
One more day left here.
Yeah, that's right. And you've done a few more things since last we spoke to you. Any highlights there?
Oh, Chinese New Year was awesome. I'm glad I came for that period of time here.
Anything stick out in your mind as something you enjoyed while you were here for CNY?
I got a lot of those red pockets, and
Of course.
pretty happy about that.
That's the thing everyone enjoys most about CNY is getting red pockets, assuming they get any. All right, well, let's get into the first event section here. It's the arts. It's the arts. It's the arts. It's the arts this week. We've got a few ongoing art events. Chen Xiaoshang Air Dry History at Pekin Fine Arts in Wangchuck, Hong. It's going on through February 15th. We also have another art exhibit. Adam Curtis, Michael Lee, Sun Shun, and Tong Kwok Hin do androids dream of electric sheep? The paradox of choice in a time of anxiety at Parasite Art Space in Shengwan. That is art that comments on consumption, capitalism, and consumerism, going on through February 17th. Another art event, Anthony White, Informal Relations at the Cat Street Gallery in Shengwan, paintings capturing the fleeting moments in nature through February 17th. I saw some of those online. It's pretty good stuff. Would go check that out for sure. Thursday, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, there's one event, a musical event, A Date with the Sungs, violin and piano duo recital by Amy Sung and Peggy Sung at Shengwan Civic Center in Central. It's a program featuring romantic composers Tchaikovsky, Grieg, and Beethoven. Starts at 8 p.m. Tickets start at $120. Friday, February 15th, we have a play, One Man, Two Governors, at the Hong Kong Academy of Performing Arts. It's a play where the plot returns around an ever-hungry servant and former skiffle player, Francis Henshaw, who, having been fired from his skiffle band, spots the chance of an extra meal ticket by simultaneously and surreptitiously serving two masters. One is the upper-class Stanley Stubbers, the other is Roscoe Crabbe, but Roscoe is really Rachel Crabbe, disguised as her twin brother, who has been murdered by Stanley, Rachel's lover. To prevent discovery, Francis must keep his two governors apart. Simple. That's a pretty convoluted plot. Sounds like a pretty comedic show. February 15th through 23rd, it's going on. The 15th is the first day, and that starts at 7:30. There is also a 2:30 p.m. show on weekends. Tickets start at $200, so many chances to see that show. Saturday, February 16th, musical event Japs Mahler 1 at Hong Kong Cultural Center in TST. The Hong Kong Philharmonic plays Mahler's epic First Symphony, 8 p.m. Tickets start from $140. Sunday, February 17th, a musical event, Festive Drums for a Roaring New Year by Hong Kong Chinese Orchestra at West Kowloon Cultural District, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Chinese Orchestra performance starts at 4:30 p.m. and there's free admission, but make sure you get your tickets beforehand. There's limited seating. A cultural event on Sunday as well, the Confucius Carnival 2013 at Pedestrian Zones on Patterson Street, Great George Street, East Point Road, Lockhart Road, all in Causeway Bay. 5-hour stage performance that includes lion dancing, martial arts, cultural dances, a Chinese costume catwalk show, Chinese orchestra, Chinese opera, and choir performances. From 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., free admission. That sounds like a really cool one. Musical event, concert by the China Philharmonic Orchestra at Sunwon Town Hall. Performance of pieces by Rossini, Beethoven, and Dvorak. 8 p.m. Tickets start at $80 there. Our final It's the Arts event is a musical event on Tuesday, February 19th. String Quartet at Artistry in Quarry Bay. The Hong Kong Philharmonic presents a Beethoven String Quartet followed by a Brahms Quintet with an added clarinet. 2 chamber classics with contrasting moods. Starts at 7 p.m. and free to attend. So that's it for the It's the Arts section. We'll get moving into the next section, Sports and Rec.
He shoots, he scores.
Sports and Rec. Sports and Rec this week. No ongoing events, but we got many meetups throughout the week that you can find on meetup.com. Wednesday, February 13th, we have the Hong Kong Scrabble meetup having CNY lunch and afternoon Scrabble at Trafalgar. The Hong Kong board gamers are playing Chasing the Talisman. Haven't heard of that one. Open Heart Meditation and Reiki Tumo group having weeknight practice, and Wednesday is quiz night at McSorley's, so that's tomorrow if you're listening on Tuesday. Thursday, February 14th, that's Valentine's Day. Meetups, the Hello Hong Kong group are having a rooftop barbecue and karaoke. The Hong Kong Expats group and Singles Club are going to all-you-can-drink Valentine's party at Velvet. And let me see, Friday, February 15th, we have some meetups. If you're looking for something to do on Friday, there's volleyball. The Hong Kong Italian food and wine lovers are having Etruscan night. And there's badminton. Saturday, February 16th, there's a football event or soccer event, the Scottish Premier League, Hearts versus Kilmarnock at Tynecastle Stadium in Chung Uk, 3 p.m. Check Ticketmaster for ticket pricing and availability. Also meetups on Saturday, the 16th, there's hiking with dogs. Healing and Spiritual Energy group are having morning tea and a morning heal, and the yoga meetup group are having yoga for everyone. Bob, you ever do any yoga?
Oh, yes, I have.
What do you think of it?
I like it a lot.
Yeah?
It's probably good for your health,
Probably. Have you, how regularly have you done it?
I haven't ever been on a yoga
A
schedule
regular
or anything,
regimen?
just randomly here and there, but I enjoyed it.
All right. Yeah, it's kills my back, me personally. Sunday, February 17th, we have a running event, the Jack's Challenge 2013 at Hong Kong International School in Stanley. It's a charity run through Tai Tam Country Park. They have 10K or 6K runs. Starts at 1:30 p.m., $200 registration fee. Meetups on Sunday, the Hong Kong Trail Runners group are cleaning up Sharp Peak. So the area they normally run in, they're taking some time to make sure it's nice and litter-free. So help them out with that project. The Hong Kong Independent Film Project group are having a music video shoot where they need some assistance with like sound, lighting, camera work, and they no previous experience required, but limited spots. So you might want to check that one out soon. Hong Kong Language and Cultural Exchange Club Potluck 2013. Friend of the show, Will Badusha, is probably involved with this one. He helps out with the HKL CEC, and they're just having a nice potluck dinner. I would highly recommend that one. And Hong Kong Eclectic Movie Night at Hong Kong Brew House in LKF. Monday, February 18th, we have a dance event, the first day of the Hong Kong Salsa Festival at various venues in the city. It's a one-week festival featuring street dances, club parties, the World Salsa Championships, dance workshops, and performances by top international and local artists. Check hksalsafestival.com for more details. It's going on through February 24th. Bob, you spent some time in South America. Have you taken in much salsa dancing?
I was never very good at it.
You tried it out?
I was always stepping on people's feet and looking funny, but
you got some experience.
It would be good to learn, I think I should brush up on.
Well, it's too bad you're not going to be
Salsas.
here next week, or you could go to the dance workshops, practice some more.
Yeah, one day.
All right, we got meetups on the 18th. The Hong Kong Hiking Meetup are providing a certified first aid course, so that'll be 2 consecutive Mondays for that training if you'd like to get first aid certified. They have, Meat Free Hong Kong Meetup Group are having a kickoff for Meat Free Mondays related to Hong Kong Catholic vegetarians as they head into Lent. Last day for Sports and Rec is Tuesday, February 19th. We have Meetup's Hypnosis and Therapy Practice Group having Hong Kong having their inaugural meetup. So check that out if you're into therapy or want to find out more about hypnosis. And the Hong Kong Storytellers are having a workshop, so that'll be friends of the show Tom Tiding and David Young putting on a workshop there. I would definitely recommend that if you want to take part in any other storytelling events that are coming up. Hong Kong Expats group are having post-CNY drinks, and the Hong Kong Boxing Meetup group are having a Muay Thai class at Versus Gym in Sheungwan. And that will do it for Sports and Rec. Now we'll get into the Get Out. The Get Out this week, we're going to have actually a few more events than we normally mention because, as we know, it is going to very soon be Valentine's Day. So we're going to provide some good events for you to check out for Valentine's Day. Bob, you're a single guy?
Sure am.
Yeah, so no Valentine this year or what?
No, not a big deal for me.
Where are you going to be on Valentine's Day? Thursday?
Should be somewhere in Thailand.
Okay, so maybe you'll find a Thai Valentine?
You never know.
You never do. Shouldn't be too hard for a handsome guy like you over there. All right, let me see. Wednesday, February 13th, we have tomorrow a musical event, Dirty Beaches, at Backstage in Central. He's a Taiwanese-born Canadian nomadic indie hipster currently based in Berlin, performing his brand of rockabilly/hip-hop fusion-type music. Sounds pretty cool. 8:30 p.m., $230 advance, $280 at the door. We also have the first Valentine's Day event on February 13th, Last Minute Valentine at CV Wan Chai in Wan Chai. Single people, come to this mixer and try to meet your potential Valentine for 2013. Dress to impress. 6 p.m., $150 includes wine tasting pairing with food. All right, now on to Valentine's Day, and there's several choices for people looking for something to do on Valentine's Day. We have a dancing event, 24-hour 1 Billion Rising V-Day Dance-a-thon at Volar, Fly, and Socialito in Central. Help the group 1 Billion Rising raise money to end violence against women by dancing at the 3 clubs mentioned. It'll be Volar from midnight to 6 a.m. on February 14th, so that's technically the night of the 13th. Fly from 3 p.m. to midnight, and then Socialito from midnight to 3 a.m., which is technically Friday. There are prizes for top fundraisers. More info can be found about this at vdaydanceathon.eventbrite, that's BRITE.com. Pre-register for $300 or enter at the door at for $500. We have a V-Day event, Singles in the City Valentine's Party at Ozone Rooftop Bar at the Ritz-Carlton, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Ladies get in free. Gentlemen, $200, includes 1 drink. The dress code is Chinese chic, whatever that means. Valentine's Day event called Thank Fuck It's Thursday presents 50 Shades of Play Valentine's Day at Play in Central. This is Play's twist on a naughty Valentine's Day. There are prizes for best dressed naughty girls and boys, so they actually want you to wear super sexy, kinky stuff, I guess, and try to win their contest. Starts at 10 p.m. Let me see. Valentine's Day, Privé Valentine's Day special. Moulin Rouge, Romances in the Air at Privé in Central. It features FHM cover model and Singapore's hottest DJ, DJ Tenashar. Feather boas and Moulin Rouge masks for all the ladies that enter. Ladies drink free that night, 10 p.m. So, yeah, if you're a lady, that sounds like a good one. Get to drink for free. Another Valentine's Day event, Just Thursday Sync at Fly in Central. Dress in red if you're single or white if you're unavailable. Complimentary shot for those in dress codes. So you at least stop by there dressed in red or white and get yourself a free shot. Starts at 10 p.m. And that'll be a good one for people who are a group, maybe that has single people and couples. You can both go and let it be known right by the way you're dressed how, whether you're looking to find a Valentine or not. And let me see, music events. This is the last one for Valentine's Day. A night of Valentine's sax at Drop in Central. live saxophone performance plus DJ. Starts at 11 p.m. So if you're not up for the, they might have some dancing going on, but some live saxophone performance. Interesting. Bob, any of those jump out at you as something you would want to attend for Valentine's Day?
You know, if I was going to be here, I'd probably go to those singles events, you know?
Yeah, whichever. Maybe the one with all the naughty boys and girls.
Perhaps.
Are you a naughty boy?
Depends.
All right. Okay, so we're moving on to Friday, February 15th. There's a lot of good events this week. So let me see. We have a networking event on Friday the 15th, SME Leadership Series, Social Friday networking event at CV Wan Chai in Wan Chai. Meet aspiring entrepreneurs, developers, and investors, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that's for people who are kind of business-minded. We have a party on Friday night, Mixtape Friday, featuring Professor P and Anil Ahuja at Club Fly in Central. That's hip-hop / mashup music. 10 p.m., free entry. For those who are into rock, we have a music event on Friday night, HKXO8 at Hidden Agenda in Kutong. Metal music with Shepherds of the Week, Cadaver, The Priceless Boat, and Weeper. 8:30 p.m., $100. On Saturday the 16th, we have, of course, an event for business and for life. The General Assembly presents Improv for the Business World with our guest Kay Ross at The Hive in Wan Chai, 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., $300 to attend. Highly recommend it. You already know why. Music event on Saturday. This will be a pretty cool one for those looking for some music. Yuto Miyazawa at Fringe Club in Central, named the world's youngest guitar player when he was 8. This Japanese child prodigy will be showing off his skills. It's at 2 p.m., $100 advance, $120 at the door. Bob, you saw this kid on YouTube. What did you think?
Pretty cool, you know. He's just about 8 years old, and he was rocking it out.
Yeah, he's shredding some riffs. He's playing Crazy Train when we saw him, the Ozzy Osbourne song. Yeah, pretty good stuff. I would highly recommend going to check him out as well. Also music on Saturday night, Bella Electra and PCHI at Hidden Agenda in Kuntong. Bella Electra's smooth blend of electronic and acoustic sounds, plus the chill beats of PCHI, who does the rap and the track. 10 p.m., $150. Sunday, February 17th, we have a business event. Kairos Society Hong Kong presents New Year, New Ideas at Fill in the Blank in Wan Chai. Join the Young Entrepreneurs Sunday with guest speaker Paul Orlando. Stop by and take the opportunity to pitch your ideas to the audience. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., $50 to attend. And finally, Monday, February 18th, we have a musical event, Lil Ashes at Full Cup Cafe in Mongkok. The duo of fresh-faced boys reinterpret classic songs into English covers, 9 p.m., free to enter. So it sounds like they're taking Chinese songs and then changing them up to into English covers. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there you have it. That's going to be the events for the week. And thanks to my buddy Bob here for joining us for a little bit of commentary the last couple of weeks. Wish you luck on the rest of your trip here.
Thank you.
You got, you're going to Thailand, India, Korea, and Japan still before you head back to the U.S.
That's right.
It's a hell of a trip. It's going to take multiple months.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
All right, cool. Well, now we'll get back to K-Ross and 5Q. Then we'll move on to the final game, which is, as always, 5Q, which is five questions.
Okay.
Now that we keep score on this, see how you do. So, and I'll just let you know beforehand, some of these questions may or may not have something to do with you. So keep that in mind as you're answering.
Okay.
And you know what? I gave you an out on this one that I haven't given anyone before, but I came up with an extra question. So if you ever want to sub in a question for one of the ones I ask you, we can cancel out the question and throw in a new one, okay? Question.
Can I ask the audience?
Yeah, phone a friend?
Yeah.
I'm afraid not. This is all you.
Ooh.
Question number 1. If I was performing a favorite Australian maritime activity in my living room, what might I be doing?
Surfing.
In my living room.
A maritime activity.
Right.
In your living room.
You're close.
Sunbathing.
No, you were close.
No?
You were close with surfing.
Okay.
But if you were surfing in your living room, what would you call that?
Surfing the internet.
Oh, you're close. What would you be sitting on while you were surfing the internet?
On your couch. Couch surfing.
Yes,
Right,
couch surfing.
couch surfing. Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. So if you already mentioned it, but you're quite involved in the couch surfing community
Yes.
here. So if you're a couch surfer and you're looking to stay in Hong Kong, Kay could definitely give you some information on where to stay. And maybe
Yes.
not so much let it.
Well, unfortunately, my landlord won't let me host people here anymore.
Right, I read
Yeah.
that story online, but I'm sure you know plenty of people who
Yeah.
could provide a place to stay. Excellent. 1 for 1. Question number 2. Geography. This city is the UK's sister city to Dalian, China. This city is the UK's sister city to Dalian. May have something to do with you.
Guessing it's Glasgow because that's where I was born.
Correct. Glasgow, Scotland,
Yes.
where Kay was born.
Yes.
And how long did you live in Glasgow?
Ooh, we left Scotland when I was 3 years old.
3 years old. So
Yeah.
have you been back ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back to Scotland 1979-80.
Okay.
Lived in Edinburgh.
And how was it?
Cold.
Yeah, I live in the northern part of the U.S., so it's probably about what I'm used to normally, the cold winters. I miss the snow, to be honest with you, but I'm sure they get plenty in Glasgow.
Yep.
All right, you're batting 1,000 so far. Let's move on to question 3. You're a marketing expert, but are you a market expert? Think of a famous Hong Kong market. You got it in your head? Just think of it. Now think of a different one. Don't say it. Now think of a third famous Hong Kong market.
Okay.
Which one are you thinking of?
Ladies market.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're incorrect. Temple Street Market.
Ooh,
Temple Street
close.
Market.
Close.
Yes, you were close.
Uh-huh.
I actually wrote it down to prove that
Okay.
I had
Yes.
it there. Okay. Well, see that was a kind of a tricky
It
one
was,
there. Question number 4. What is the name of the man with the afro that likes to paint happy little trees? Are you familiar with this painting show? It's a U.S. show. He paints landscapes. He has an afro. He likes to paint happy little trees. You can give me an answer,
Ding.
or
No.
we can sub in a new question if you'd like.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one.
Okay. Well, it's actually Bob Ross. Bob Ross.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe related to me? I don't know.
Exactly.
Oh.
I thought you might know him based
No.
on last name recognition, but he has one of the best TV shows that ever existed. So
Ah,
if you like painting, check it out.
okay.
Substitute question then. Question 4. This is the Southern Hemisphere's largest annual arts festival. Might have something to do with you.
Adelaide
Okay.
or Hong Kong?
Full answer.
The Adelaide Arts Festival?
You're close. Adelaide Blank Festival.
Oh,
Adelaide Fringe Festival.
Fringe. I should know that. I used to work for the Adelaide Fringe.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad I had that information correct. Yes, the Adelaide Fringe
Fringe.
Festival. Was it the Southern Hemisphere's largest annual arts festival when you worked on it?
I don't know.
Maybe,
I
maybe
really don't know.
All right. Well, I'll give you half a point on that. I think you definitely should have had that.
Yes.
All right. So we got 3.5 points now. You're doing quite well. Or no, wait, is it
Is
2.5 points?
Is there a prize?
There's the prize. It's all bragging rights.
Oh,
so,
okay.
you know,
Good.
when
Okay.
your friends come on the show later, you'll be able to say, I got such and such score. Try
Okay.
to beat that. Okay. So, question number 5, last question. Name the movie. 1991. The plot is an Arkansas waitress and a housewife shoot a rapist and take off in a 66 Thunderbird.
Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise, correct. And what would Thelma and Louise have to do with you, if anything?
They're feisty women.
That's definitely true. And how about the name Louise?
Louise is my middle name.
There you go. All right. So good job.
Yeah.
Correct. So 3.5. That's a very
And-
strong showing.
and Brad Pitt's hot.
Brad Pitt looking young and sexy in there. Not at all like he is in those new watch commercials.
Yeah,
He's looking
yeah.
kind of, he's got that beard now. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a good choice. The salt and pepper beard.
Mm.
He's still a good actor. I've always liked Brad Pitt. I'm a big Fight Club fan. but He's always looking cut in that movie. All right. Well, thank you so much for playing the games.
Thank you, Travis.
And that'll bring us into the final section of the show, our plugs section. So let's just run down the cavalcade of things that we can tell people to look out for K. Ross in Hong Kong at. People's Liberation Improv, first Friday of every month. So we'll be looking at early March, but that's obviously the festival's going to be in town
part
then.
of the festival, yeah.
Excellent. Hong Kong Storytellers events you frequently go to and sometimes speak at those?
I haven't performed there for ages because I'm so busy with other things, but I like to attend. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, well, even if you're not performing, you may be in attendance there. And we already mentioned the 3rd annual Hong Kong Improv Festival coming up very soon. K's Improv workshops. So we said it's at the Hive in Wan Chai this Saturday.
Yep.
At what time?
2:30 to 4:30. That's called Improv for the Business World.
Okay.
Yeah.
Improv for the Business World. It's $300 to attend, which is a mere pittance for the valuable info that Kay will be giving you. And you can definitely find out how she can help you to be a leader in your career and find out more about Kay if you want to, hire her out or just find out more about what she does at kayross.com.
Yep.
KAYROSS.
Yeah.
And also follow her on Twitter at KRoss.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we should mention that I forgot there?
I think we've covered it all, Travis.
All right, excellent. Well, I've done my due diligence, thank goodness. And as far as the show, is there an event you would like us to mention on the show? Please send me an email, TravvyJ, TravVVYJ, @speakhk.com. Tweet me at speakhk on Twitter, facebook.com/speak.hk. Check out the page there, and subscribe to the show on iTunes. Listen to the other podcasts that we have on the website now, Dear HK. They're always entertaining. And that's pretty much it for me. And do you have any final words for the listeners, Kay?
Learn improv. It's fantastic, and it'll be really helpful in your life and business.
All right, improv for life. All right, well, that's it for me. For K. Ross, this is Travis Jones signing off. That's what's up.